Shout out to our guy Colton Pouncey, killing it for The Athletic. He wrote an article where he did each position group. But the main question he asked is, who is the most important developmental piece for the Detroit Lions on defense?
On defense?
On defense, specifically. I went straight up. Like, if the really, I mean, the easy thing to say, if you want to be correct about it, or like you want to see it come to fruition, is Terrion. Because it's going to happen.
Yep.
But the real answer, the most important positions to develop is among the defensive line.
Yes.
So, I'm not telling you that happened, but if you want to talk about who's the most important to develop, and this is talking about the longevity of the Detroit Lions like window, not just like this year. Ahmed Hassanin.
Yeah.
Jesus. And
Hassan Amanin.
Ahmed Hassanin and Tyleik Williams by far the most important. You look at some of the greatest to ever play the game, and Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Shout out to Peyton Manning in that conversation. In Super Bowl moments, their biggest downfalls where they came short were they were getting abused by defensive lines. With Peyton Manning, it was the Seahawks with Cliff Averill and Bennett.
Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
Dude.
With Tom Brady, it was Tuck and JPP and Michael Strahan. With Patrick Mahomes, JPP again. Yeah, dude, they had a dog. Chris Canty. I mean, crazy. My God. Yeah. It is the defensive line by far Patrick Mahomes' downfall. You just saw it this past Super Bowl. They just got my man paid by the Patriots. I didn't fucking know his name.
Don't remember his name.
I didn't even know he was a fucking human that existed on Earth.
Williams,
he was a third
right?
string. Yeah, something Williams.
Yeah.
The third string defensive. It's by far the defensive line. It is Hassan. Oh my God. Ahmed Hassanin and Tyleik Williams by far the most important developmental piece for the Detroit Lions on defense.
Yeah, I would say Tyleik Williams is number one. Obviously, we think that Terrion Arnold is going to develop into a cornerback one, hopefully next year, and into that level of player. But it doesn't matter who you got playing cornerback if the quarterback's running for his life or on the ground. So I look at Tyleik Williams as the guy that is the most important to develop for the Detroit Lions, especially early on when you're without Aleem McNeil. You're going to be without your interior pass rushing guy. You're going to be without that presence in there that's going to command a double team other than Aiden Hutchinson to free up other guys around him. So if you want to see maybe Levi Onwuzurike getting better, or a Josh Pascal getting better, or getting to the quarterback is more important. But I think what Tyleik Williams projects to be, how they talk about him, like he is going to be another Aleem McNeil, like he is going to be that problem in the middle. Yeah, it's got to be him.
Especially if you get him in droves. Like if you can alleviate Aleem McNeil on maybe the first down, like when he's coming back, like allow him to be like your third down, because Aleem could rush the passer. Like he has that.
Yes.
Like Tyleik, you draft him as a stout run defender coming into the NFL. Hopefully he can develop a little bit of that pass rush game. Aleem, he's got that in the bag. So like coming back from injury, to have a Tyleik Williams to alleviate Aleem from those early down situations, and so he just pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. He could do it. We've seen him do it against the Raiders. You've seen him do it against the Giants, albeit terrible teams. But I think you've seen him do it against the Vikings. Aleem's a good fucking football player. I think a lot of people sleep on it because it comes to sacks, but that's not like necessarily a defensive tackle's job. If it's there, he'll get it. But his job is to cause chaos.
Yeah.
I think he'd be that. An agent of chaos is for sure what Aleem McNeil could do, and I think Tyleik could be the same thing. They would draft him to be.
I saw Broder put it in there. It's a very good point that I think people are forgetting about, and a guy you liked a lot out of last year's draft class, and Mekhi Wingo.
Yes.
Like his ability, his burst of the line could be extremely important, whether you have him at defensive tackle or at the edge spot. They liked him a lot last year. They wanted to use him a lot last year. He was going to be a rotational piece of this defensive line until he got injured. So I think him coming back and hopefully having that same kind of burst after the knee injury will be important as well. That's a good one.
I also think you need the production from Tyleik Williams like right off the gate, because you're paying an Aleem McNeil and you're not going to get that from him. You're going to be paying an Aiden Hutchinson. So Tyleik on this rookie deal is going to be so clutch for this team if he can become that guy. And I know I wasn't the highest on the upside of Tyleik Williams when we first drafted him, but he has to step into this role. He has no other option than to be a dog off rip, and that's what I'm expecting. He has to be.
Heavies.
Elite defensive tackle would change things for you.
Yeah, it makes everybody's job around him easier. It's like you don't know who the Eagles' other pass rusher was last year. Who was it? Who was number 2 on sacks in the Eagles last year? You don't know? Can't tell you off the top of your head.
The dominant unit.
Yeah, because everybody dominated and included, especially in that interior. When you look at Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and all those guys, it makes everybody's job around you easier when you can get some pressure from the interior defensive line. So, yeah, without Aleem McNeil especially, I think Tyleik Williams is going to have to step up.
Are you good now? Are you good now or no?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, like, having an elite defensive tackle makes everybody else's job on defense so much easier. You know, like as a corner to the safeties, even the edge rushers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such an important staple on your defense. Like, you want a good D tackle.
It opens up a lot of things for a lot of different people. And to Burr's point about Wingo, like I was high on Wingo because like
His burst.
he's got that special burst. Like I'm talking like in terms of measurements, it's in the same breath as
I had a
an
special burst on that.
a special burst on the defensive line. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see from this angle, but
You know.
I think Tyleik could be that as a pass rusher. Like anytime about guys coming at third down, it would be a Tyleik Williams. I think Ray could be a phenomenal addition too if he could develop. I think he will develop. The only issue is it sounds like they want him on the outside. I feel like if he gets rep or time on the field, it'd probably be a nickel now, unless you do my crazy scenario that everybody hated.
Weird. No,
Dan Campbell said that himself. Though, on
he's
the outside.
better. No, I think that you got to look at the defensive line because that's where the questions are, really. You know,
Yeah.
once Anzo gets re-signed, you know what you're going to get from the linebackers. You know what you're going to get from the safeties. We expect a jump from Terrion Arnold, but I think the defensive line, like you said, that is where the bread is buttered defensively. Like it starts there, and if you're not getting any help on the defensive line or any pressure on the defensive line, it doesn't matter how good your cornerback is. They're going to get picked apart.
And again, in terms of expectations, what I expect to take the biggest leap is probably in the defensive back room, simply because of Terrion. And the amount of people we're hearing, like the caliber of players we're hearing speak about Terrion.
But also, like, I think we're kind of like
Jack, simple Jack.
we're kind of simple jacking a little bit because
Whoa.
like I don't think we really
Whoa,
truly
Jack.
understand how much of an impact having Aiden Hutchinson is going to make for everybody else on that defensive
sure.
line. Like we're thinking about what that defensive line looked like for a majority of the year last year, and it wasn't pretty at times. But you didn't have your blue chip edge rusher. You're one of the best edge rushers in the league. Your guy who was going to win MVP last year if
fancy
he
Y.
stayed healthy. Your Spicy Y.
Spicy Y.
Like you needed that guy, and no amount of Zadarius Smith or Al Qadim Muhammad or whoever, no matter how good they were playing, can even touch what Hutch gives you. So him being back is going to be a breath of fresh air for the defense.
So in the article, they kind of sprouted this topic from Colton Pouncey on The Athletic. Shout out one more again.
Shout out
He
Scott
has it broken
Sizemore.
down by defensive positions, defensive position coach, and for defensive line, Casey Rogers, it was Tyleik Williams, and a lot of the same things that we were saying. Like, remember Liam was twinkle toes. Like, I mean, all the, like, he could
Pork chop. Didn't they call him pork chop?
come in. Yeah, and he said he's more refined than Liam coming in. Like, Liam had to like refine the edges a little bit. He's a first round pick. So he's coming in as a Liam now, not the third round pick. Liam had to like shape up a little bit there.
I was called a madman.
You were called a madman. Who do you think it is at linebacker? It's kind of easy.
I mean, it's got to be Jack, right?
Shout out to Sean Dion Hamilton. Yes, it was
As
Jack.
you know, shout out to Sean Dion Hamilton.
Yes.
Excited to see that. But Anzalone doesn't need any refinement or improvement. He's what he is. Derek Barnes is what he is. Jack Campbell has another level that he can get to. So
And this actually, here's a quote from Sean Dion Hamilton about Jack Campbell. It says, Jack has grown a lot from year 1 to year 2. You see less thinking out there. The game is slowing down for him. And now even going from year 2 to year 3, you watch the self-scout and stuff like that. You see him really taking the next step. So I think a lot of people need to hear that because I see a lot of Jack Campbell slander these streets. And it's just truly uncalled for. Like just the development of like, I mean, these guys specifically, I can't speak for everyone, but like the third year is probably when you want to start to look towards guys like, what are they going to be in the NFL?
yep.
And I think Jack, we're going to find out this year if his position coach is saying that, a guy that's been there as assistant linebacker coach, Sean Dion Hamilton, since, again, from one to done, he's saying he'll take a step, expect a step.
I think he's the only guy in that room that is not a finished product. I mean, obviously Malcolm probably still has a level to go, but I mean,
Maybe
as
more
much
refined role,
as much
though.
as we love him, we don't expect him to take a leap into elite linebacker play.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell, we do. Jack Campbell, you had that expectation for that. Okay, he was a great linebacker last year. You know, top 15 guy at the position. We expect him to take a jump into top 5 with the level that his athleticism, where he was drafted, and his resume. That's the expectations of him.
Big thing is thinking. Coming from college to the pros, obviously college, their offenses are a little different. It feels different. Concepts are different. Now he's getting his feet under him. He works extremely hard. Big student of the game. The question is the questions that he's asking, going to practice, building, and you can see things are slowing down tremendously for him. Another quote from Sean D.L. Hamilton on Jack Campbell. And
I like that.
I fucking love to hear that.
I like that.
I love to hear that because I've been waiting.
If things are slowing down for how fast he is,
How big he is.
he's going to be flying.
Like
around the
you want to talk about space eaters and putting him in the middle of the field, and just like the areas of coverage that he can get his hands on.
Yeah.
I mean, you love that 6'5" out there. Yeah, I've been waiting for that because I think Jack's been very good. Matter of fact, I just call him a top 15, top 11 guy like right now.
Yep.
But if you could take that next step, that'd be huge for you, especially in situations where you may be duking it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just throwing the ball around.
sure.
Or those mobile quarterbacks. You saw what he did to Caleb. You know, Caleb's going to step out of bounds now.
Yeah.
You're going to learn
He's
today.
going to remember that.
Our defensive back room, it's obviously
Terry.
Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.